So that's the first section. That's the searches section of it. We'll move on to the next stage, which is more the competition side of it. So you've got SEO competition, title competition. There's just these two at this stage to work out what the competition is for the keywords. Very important, but they don't go into the information needed for the top 10. That's going to come in a later video. So for SEO competition, this tells you how many pages contains your keyword. Okay. So in this case, there's 61,000 pages containing the keyword PC banking, and that's what you're up against. The lower this number, so example here, 19,000, the easier it is likely to be to rank. It's not always the case, because you could have only 19,000 competing pages, but the top 10 could be super difficult. So just a word of warning there. But typically, the lower the number this is, the easier it is to rank. Title competition, we also need to know this. This is how many websites have that keyword in their title. This is quite interesting in that it tells us how many sites are likely to be ranking for your keyword. They might not have it in the actual page, but they could rank for it in the title, and that's worth checking. It gives you a good indication of whether it's super high. Now I pre-sort these to try and keep them as low as possible, but just word of warning, they can be super high, and that means that the people tend to have it in a different orientation coming through. So again here, if you just went off SEO competition, you'd have 28,000 sites you're competing against, but in title says there's 211, so that might actually be more difficult than you first thought. Just one to look at and keep an eye out for. Again, the lower these numbers, easier it should be, but you need to do top 10 comparison. Comp to title ratio is simply that one versus that one. The higher this is, the higher this number is, potentially the harder it's going to be. Word of warning though, don't go off these numbers, because if you have a site that only has 19,000, if there's 40,000 in here, this will be 200. So I tend not to do searches off this. I tend to do it on this one and this one. That's competition. Again, in a later video I'm going to show you how to do top 10 analysis, and that's probably more important than those two ones. They're a good indicator, however I have pre-sorted these lists so that number is low. Top 10 is vitally important. We'll get back into it. I think that's video 3. I'm going to show you that one in. This section is all about money, specifically AdWord money. Now AdWord, you might not have AdSense on your sites, advertisements. I suggest you do, because all these words rank for it. It also gives you a very good indication about how online marketers are spending money for adverts for your keywords. So if anything, this is a really good indication of what other internet marketers think the value, monetary value for advertising is for this keyword. It's always a good indication of how valuable they think the internet market is for these products. So first off, traffic. This is how many clicks an advert on the number one site is likely to get in a day. Okay, so in this case, for our friend the PC banking, for that searching for that exact keyword phrase, an ad might get 7 clicks coming through as far as traffic. We need to know this, and this is where it's a bit different from most other sites, because all they tend to give you is these columns, which is the cost per click. This tells you how valuable the clicks are for the advert. So if the person was to click on that advert, it could cost on average about $1 a click. Okay. Most people give this, but if there's no traffic coming to that site, for example here, for the exact phrase, if there's no traffic coming through, and there will be in the month, don't forget this is daily data, but if it's a lot low, like it's 0, having a $3 keyword versus a $1 cost per click keyword, this one's more valuable, because 7 clicks at $1, $7. 0 clicks at $3.50 is $0. Okay, so just a word of warning on those ones. You can see these lists being sold online for high value cost per click numbers. Means nothing if there's no traffic going to it. Okay, so that's cost per click. Click-through rate is once the traffic hits your site, this is to get how many clicks you can expect coming through. That's a percentage of what the number of traffic is. Ultimately, when you put this all together, you get an AdWord value. So that's what the expected AdWord value is, which is cost per click multiplied by your traffic coming through to the site, to give you an idea. So that's how much your AdWord value is. As an advertiser, this is how much you're likely to have to spend a day for that AdWords. So that's useful if you're doing AdWord campaigns. SEO value then is total traffic to your site. So this is the amount of traffic coming to your site, potentially clicking on that AdWord. So this is the best gauge of how valuable your site is for that keyword. Okay, depending on what search traffic you're looking at. So if you're basing your numbers on exact searches, then this is where it comes in. Okay, but this is a rough guide to the value your site could be. Now this could be a lot more in value if you use Amazon products on your site, you're using ClickBank products on your site and you're getting extra sales. If you're just using AdWords value on it, it could be slightly lower than this. This might be a high average. And again, this is typically for the number one spot. Most of the traffic clicks on the first site on the list. So that's it. Okay guys, that's a quick review of the database, the headers in there. If you've got any questions, click on the comment section at the bottom. I'll try and answer it. There's more information in the text below this video, so please read through there. I've added some golden nugget tips in there for you to go through. Hope you've liked the video. Again, ask your questions, I'd appreciate it. My name's Dan Jensen. Thanks for being at Golden Nugget Keywords. Have a great day.